Okay, welcome back to another 90-day fiance review. We're going to just start where we left off. So it started back up with Gino and Jasmine, and he said he didn't send no nude pictures. He said that he was trying to rub it in. Hold on, sorry. He said that he was trying to rub it in her face. But, like, why did you have to send a nude picture of her? Like, Gino, that just wasn't cool. It wasn't, like, why did you do that? Did you even think? Men just don't think, okay? And Gino's ex is also, along with the nude picture, is sending her screenshots of, their screenshots of that, but send screenshots of the conversation as well. And Jasmine's pissed off. She wants to cause pain. You rapped with Jasmine, and now you're going to get it, okay? And he basically, I think that this relationship is done. Maybe. He messed it up, and I thought they were going to make it, okay? So next we see Mike and Ximena. He did this whole thing, invited the family over as well, so they can see how serious he is. It's kind of like a proposal party, I mean, except that Ximena doesn't know that she's about to get proposed to yet. But then the cake comes out with the ring on top, and then she starts crying like, oh no, is this chick about to say no? And, she starts crying, and I'm like, is that good? Is that bad? And we don't get an answer yet. So Ben goes to work out. Ben, you are getting catfish. You have been on the show for, 3-4 episodes now? And he still ain't seen this mahogany person. And he goes to the gym. He says it's his happy place. And he still hasn't gotten a text from Mahogany, okay? And then Hamza is preparing for the wedding with Memphis. But I think his mom is trying to stop it. Trying to say, are you sure about this? Are you sure you want to do this? If he wasn't sure, he shouldn't have proposed to her in the first place. Like, did Memphis make you propose? I don't think so. Okay? And then Ximena is crying. And she's like, yes, I'll marry you. And I was like, all crying. I was like, oh, I'm rooting for them. And I think that he could fix the little things that annoys her. And, like, she could just get on with the program and stop being annoyed with everything, okay? So, congrats. I'm glad somebody's getting a happy ending. Maybe. We'll see, because Mike is in next week's episode. So, yeah. And then Jasmine is beyond pissed. I would be too. And he was still talking to his ex-girlfriend. And she's gonna move into a new room. So remember that mess I was talking about, that toothbrush, right? She did right on. She took that toothbrush and she threw it into the dirt. And then Gino had asked her, what did you throw it? She said, garbage. She's like, garbage. I love her. Okay. And then sugar babies. There's some sugar babies in the mix. Okay. Like, Gino, what the hell are you doing? Okay. And here he was acting like he didn't have money. Or maybe he had some money in the past and he just don't have none now. Maybe because you was spending it on them sugar babies. And she finds that part of him very disgusting. He was paying for it. So, not only could you not get sex, but you couldn't get a date on your own. Like, you couldn't even get a date. He paid them to go out with him. Gino. No. And then Jasmine says, like, you broke my effing heart. I'm like, oh, she really loved you, and you gonna go talk to your ex-girlfriend. Like, don't be wasting Jasmine's time, and don't be wasting our time. Like, for real. What do you think that you're doing? Because you ain't doing it right. Period. And then Memphis over here talking about her bathroom issues to her sister. And she's like, I don't want to hear about your bathroom issues. And she says, we want the tea. And she says that she's trying to do this prenup. She wants to protect herself. I'm wondering what kind of business did she do? And then she spent the night at her ex-husband's house. I'm like, oh no. They didn't sleep together or anything. And she decides to tell, what's his face, Hamza, the truth. But he's like, no, wait. I think we rushed this into the decision of getting married. But there's a rumor going around that they're already married and that they actually have a baby. So I'm like, how true is that? Well, I guess we have to see it to tell all, okay? And then Jasmine changes rooms. I feel really bad for her because she wants happiness, But let's see if maybe they'll get back together. Maybe they won't. I don't know. And Ben is headed Mahogany's way. And she answered, but once again, I think she's coming up with excuses, okay? And Mike is getting ready to go back home to Colombia, to whatever state he came from. And he says he's going to try to come back in a couple months. And they're saying goodbye. But Mike is kind of nervous to leave her there because he's afraid that they will grow apart. And like in the preview for next week's episode, Ximena'S asking for a boob job, money for a boob job, and you know, even though Mike had just got back home, he's gonna head back to Colombia to see her. I'm like, oh boy, they'll up with that one. And then Jasmine's talking to her friend Linda, and she's about to wreck his whole effing world, wreck the whole world. And then Jasmine said, I'm gonna sue you. And she's like, you know what? Since you like to show off things, let's take off this freaking hat. And she took off the hat, and he was pissed. He was so pissed, and I was looking, I was like, ooh, he looked like he was, but I'm glad you didn't do it, okay? And he was like, man, you can take my hat. He looked in his backpack and put another hat on his head. I really see why you wear that hat. Maybe you should shave the back of your head, because, like, Gino, have mercy. Just know. And, you know, she's pissed. She called him trash. She called him everything in the book. She said his eggplant was tiny, and that she's going to take a picture of it and send it to people. He was like, I don't care. And then she said she don't want to see him anymore. And I think she was about to jump on him. And the producer's was like, no. You got to go. And that was about it. So, Ella and her fella come back in next week's episode. I wish Stupid Elena was off the screen. I had to skip her parts a few times. What else? Yeah, Mike goes back. Hamza and Memphis talk. He tells her. She gets pissed off. Kimberly tells Usman that if they're not in a relationship, by the time that before she leaves, that she does not even want to talk to him anymore, not even as a friend. So if you watched it, tell me what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will be back later for Jasmine's Cabaret. Hopefully it's a little better than last week's, because there was even no fighting. They were just cleaning. Like, that's boring. Zeus, what are y'all doing?